Welcome to Major Keys. I'm here with Andraya Carter, basketball analyst and reporter, and I cannot wait to get into this interview. She's one of my rising media star sisters, and I know a little bit about you because we grew up in the same area, but I don't know about your sports journey. How are you?
I'm good. I was just thinking about how we go way, way, way back, but doing good. Getting ready for the NCAA tournament, first and second rounds, and I'm happy that we're having tournaments on the men's and women's side. So just in reflection, looking back on this whole season, and then I've done a lot of just looking back in general to how I got here and just feeling so lucky and so fortunate. So I'm doing great.
Well, then I've caught you at the perfect time because that's exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So, can you give me your sports journey in 60 seconds? So, if you played any other sports, I know you played basketball, but let's go all the way back to the beginning. What is your sports journey?
Played soccer at a really young age. I cried, didn't like it. Started playing basketball, loved it. Ran track in middle school, hated it, and then stuck with basketball after that. And so after that, it was basketball. I played 2 years up, played on some really talented AAU teams, got my first scholarship offer in eighth grade, which was kind of crazy. Always wanted to go to Tennessee, committed to Tennessee very early to Pat, had a great relationship with her, played Team USA, went on to have an incredible college career, just a great time in college. A lot of injuries though, so I had to hang that up, and then got into being a basketball analyst instead. That's 60 seconds.
It's probably close. I didn't actually time you, but I feel like you sped through that, so that was good. All right. So, what did sports teach you through all that? I know you hated track and soccer, but what did sports teach you?
I don't know why I hated soccer. I think I was really, really young, but in middle school, like I didn't like track because I felt like I was by myself and like literally being on the line. Some people are built for it and I'm not built for it. So I think from a very early age, I learned that I like having a team. I like being a part of a team. And I know in track, you're a part of a team, obviously, but
Right.
in track, your success is solely determined by you. Right. So I think from a very early age, I dove into and just embraced being on a team and being a part of something and not worrying about myself, and really just worrying about what's best for the betterment of the group, the success of the group. And I think I took that with me definitely moving forward. I was on Vol Leaders, which I consider a team. We went to Brazil and we did things in the communities of Brazil using sport for peace and for social change. And being on with ESPN and being with the SEC network, that's a team. Being anything that I've done, I think that I've really been able to still put my best foot forward because I want to do well, but I want to do well so that the entire group, so that the show looks great, so that the production looks great, so that whatever we're trying to do in the community or anything like that. So I think the aspect of team, not worrying about yourself, we not me, um that's probably the biggest thing because I feel like I'm always down to do whatever. Rising media stars, like what do we have to do for all of us, right? We're all on a team. I love being a part of teams, and I got that from basketball, and I was really lucky to be on great teams. Like I can't think of a team that I had a bad experience on. So I was just very fortunate in that aspect. I think also too, just sports taught me just hard work. Like I think back to 5 a.m. workouts. I think back to some of the things we did in conditioning, and I'm like, how and when and why? I would never do that now, right? But
Even though you still are very fit, like
well, but I
athletes, you're still very fit.
still, I mean, but I still wouldn't do some of the stuff that we did in college or in high school, like but perseverance and the grit and the toughness and really just being able to leave whatever you have going on at the door and get the job done.
Right.
And have fun doing it, right? Just to be in the moment. If it's a show that I have going on, whatever else is going on, leave it at the door. It's time to work. And I think that I do a pretty decent job at that. So
Yeah.
teamwork, perseverance, hard work, all those things.
Yeah, and I can attest to both of those things. You were a great team player for me in Rising Media Stars, and your hard work. I mean, your preparation. I listen to your broadcast now, and you can tell you're doing your homework. So You're
Yeah.
doing a great job there applying that. So who were your role models growing up?
Oh man, my first ever role model was Christy Thomas. She played basketball at the University of Georgia, went on to be in the WNBA, and I actually hand wrote her letters. My dad went and watched or took me to watch her play actually when she was at Buford in high school, and then went on. I took me to watch her play when she was at Georgia, and I wrote her letters, like handwritten letters in second grade. And as a college athlete, she actually wrote me back. And so we kind of became like pen pals from a really young age. And then she came to a couple of my AAU games. And then when I got into college, and now that I'm older, we're actually really, really close. It's kind of that way with a lot of my role models. We're actually friends now, which is crazy. But Christy Thomas was my first one. Tamika Catchings, who now I work with the SEC Network and ESPN and through Tennessee. She'll like text me and say, "Hey sis," and it still feels funny to me because I'm like, "I love you," you know. Um, Tamika Catchings, Maya Moore was a huge, huge one, who I ended up like doing a workout with, and she'll come to Orange Theory. So Maya Moore, Tamika Catchings, and Christy Thomas as players were just, I just thought the world of them. And then Candace Parker, as I got a little bit older, loved her, obviously. She's like a sister now. So I'd say those four, as far as the game, I absolutely loved them. And then role models for even now, you know, in the media world, LaChina is obviously a huge role model for me. Just who she is, the person she is, the analyst she is. I love the work that Maria does because she'll literally go from channel to channel and event to event and still nails it every single time. So those two are pretty big for me in the media world.
Yeah. So speaking of the media world, as you mentioned, you had some injuries in college that kind of thrust you into this broadcasting transition. What has been the most surprising aspect, from, I'm assuming your dream, probably like most young players, was I'm going to go on and I'm going to play until, as my sister says, my knees fall off, right?
Literally.
But just you're going to play for a very long time. So what has been the most surprising part of that, new career, that new path?
Um, you know, it's definitely crazy because I really thought I was going to be playing basketball until I was like 46.
Yeah.
Like that was a number that I don't know why I always said 46. I was like, I'm going to play till I'm 46. And it just obviously, I played until I was 25. And so, obviously things change. But for me, I think it's not even that things were surprising. It's just things that I just didn't even know. Like I had no idea I wanted to be in this field. Like I majored in communication studies, but I thought I would do, like public speaking and events, which I do some of that, but I never really thought I would be on TV unless I was running around on the court on TV.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that initially the amount of help and support that everyone that was already in the industry gave me just endlessly and effortlessly was surprising. I don't want to say, not because I thought they were bad people. I just had no idea that everyone would be so willing to help. Like Debbie Antonelli, Kara Lawson sent me her boards. Maria always answered the phone when I called. I called LaChina in tears after a game one time. And of course she answered. And people would send me how they organized their things. Steffi Sorensen, I got notes from her on sideline reporting and just everyone. My first studio show, I was completely clueless. And Alyssa Lang and, Brooke Weisbrod were fantastic. Like they just everyone was so willing to help. I can't even explain it. Like I took pieces from so many people because they were just like open books. It was crazy and just had a lot of support. Rebecca Lobo tweeted that I did a nice job in a game and it just like made my day. I was just, I was just amazed that even Holly Road this season, she, put a little thing on her Instagram that I was doing well. And so I just felt like I was a really young person being brought into this community of women that I looked up to tremendously, and everyone was just so willing to help me. And so that was a huge surprise, but a very welcomed surprise. Obviously, I just didn't expect it at all. Producers were really helpful too. Everyone that I worked with was just amazing. Like they would give me tips right away if I was doing something wrong, or, constructive criticism after every game. It was just fantastic. And then I think the amount of, or just the joy that it gives me to be connected to the game still. Like I was so heartbroken when I couldn't play anymore. It was just, I'm sure, anyone who has it taken away, even over a gradual amount of time, but especially if it's sudden and you don't expect it. I just was so hurt that I wasn't going to be a part of the game anymore. But now I get so much joy in watching the film, watching the games, learning player tendencies, learning program tendencies. And it's, like when you think of analysis, it's, looking at a lot of information and coming to conclusions. And I'm doing that with basketball, and I feel so in it. Coaches are so open to talk to me about what they're trying to do with their teams and their programs. And so I'm not a player anymore, but I feel just as involved in the game of basketball. Well, I guess more involved than I ever expected. So that was a surprise.
Well, and it's so obvious to me, and obviously you are you, but someone objectively outside, it's so obvious that you were meant to do this. You played point guard, didn't you, growing up?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the way that you see the floor, the way you see the game, and analyze it, it's just obvious that you were, prepared for something such as this. And of course, you're putting in the hard work and all of that. But I think I sent to our Rising Media Stars group, there's a video about like your trajectory, the thing that you wanted so badly, right, that you didn't get, but put you on another path to get something else. And I think you're a perfect example of that. All of your preparation in basketball led you to this thing. And again, from outside, I get it. You put in a ton of work, but you can just tell you're so natural, and you were meant to do this. So that's my little Drea pep talk.
I hope so. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. I loved that you sent that to us, because I think the woman said, your dreams your dreams are there to teach you to work hard.
Right.
And so, trying to be a basketball player, a pro, taught me to work hard. And now working hard to be hopefully, quality analyst and quality, contribution to the ESPN networks is it's not as hard to work hard in this, because I worked so hard for something else already.
Yeah, no, totally get that. All right, so now we're gonna switch gears a little bit. Okay,
Right.
we do a segment called It's a Vibe. Okay, so I want you to give me something that you feel like is a vibe. It could be literally anything: clothes, shoes, trend, whatever it may be. Something that you're really into right now.
A vibe. Oh man, this is good. This is good. I might be the least vibiest person in the world.
Okay.
What's a vibe for me? Vibe. This is so interesting. Can I say Crocs are a vibe? Because I've got Crocs on right now. I wear them in the studio until I have to take them off and put my heels on. But I'm like, Crocs, watching film, some water, some ice cold, some not even ice cold, just some water in a water bottle after a nice little workout, clean hair, going in my Crocs.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, first off, the Crocs thing throws me off. All right. The girls that I coach, they wear Crocs and they think they're so cool, and they stick the little, I don't even know what they are, the things in the holes, like little characters. And stuff.
I'm not that cool. I just got plain white Crocs and looking at them right now, but they're crispy white.
I'm glad to hear that. But yeah, I tell them all the time, I'm like, you would get flamed in high school, like when I was growing up, if you wore Crocs. Like, this is not a vibe, but okay, fine. I will let you have that. Yeah. We're going to move into a lightning round now. Okay. So quick answers. All right.
Right.
All right. So what is your favorite women's sports moment of all time?
This is so hard. That's of all time?
Of all time. Doesn't have to be basketball, but just anyone in general.
I was there when Morgan Williams hit the last second shot against UConn. Okay. So I think because I was literally there, that might have to be it. Okay, but I mean, there's obviously a million, but being present for one, that was great.
Okay, what is a dream sporting event you would like to attend?
Just one of Serena's tennis matches.
I love that. I love that answer.
Who
will be the 2021 national champion?
I picked this already, so this is not. I'm not gonna say this is a hard answer, but I'm reckoning with South Carolina.
South Carolina. Okay. And I will just say, it was the first time I watched Maryland last weekend in the Big Ten championship. And I was like, wait a minute.
I know. I know.
I don't want to say they flew under the radar because I'm not going to claim to be tapped into everybody, but
Right.
I love the way that they played. So if
Yeah.
that's every game, I'm in.
You're going for Maryland?
Just for something, left field, why not? I don't know if it's totally left field now this week, but I feel like the conversations last month, people have
Okay.
not been.
I'm going with, obviously I have a heart for the SEC, but it's gonna have to be a South Carolina team because I almost feel like they're underdogs, and it's not something that you think very often. And I don't know, I'm just thinking that they pull it through.
Yeah. From what I can tell, they're gonna need to hit some outside shots. That's just my opinion on that. But
And run and play fast and get a lead the ball down low.
Right.
But we could go on and on about that for days.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay. So high, mid, or low tops to play in?
High. I have bad ankles.
Okay. Your women's basketball GOAT.
Oh, women's basketball GOAT. Tamika Catchings.
Oh, okay. That was so easy for you. I thought it was gonna be tough.
It's hard, but like I've loved her from day one. So
yeah. Okay. Toughest person to defend.
Man, toughest person to defend. That's really hard. Jen O'Neal comes to my mind from Kentucky because she used to just hit shots on me, and I would have a high hand and I would have a high contest and I would give ball pressure and she would just still hit the shot. And that was very frustrating. She was, I guess I have to go with her because that was the first one that came to my mind. Obviously, I played a lot of very talented players, but she just was killing. It was so frustrating. Golly. Alyssa Thomas, I never actually guarded her, but I would try to double her, and that was hard in itself. So Alyssa Thomas was really tough. Yeah, so many. This has to be lightning, so I can't think very long. But
yeah, no, I think that's a reasonable answer.
Generally, very frustrating.
Okay, so the last question is, what is your dream sporting event to cover?
Oh, dream sporting event to cover. I would love to, and I don't even know if they do this, like studio coverage for the Olympics. Like I would love to cover Team USA women's basketball and like their performance in the Olympic game. Like if I could break down how they got the gold medal in their games along the way, like, oh, they played Australia and this is what happened. You know what I mean? Just like what I do for SEC Network, but for the best players in the world in Team USA, I think that would be so cool.
Yeah, no, I'm a Olympic fanatic. And now that you say that, I don't know if they do studio work like at halftime or anything.
Like post game or like in reflection or like maybe it's something that needs to be created.
I think it does because, I think Bob Costas does like the overall Olympics. I don't think they ever do the like game stuff. So yeah, we need to figure out. If it's not, you need to make that happen.
You need to dive into it.
So before I ask you my last question that I ask of all my guests, which is, what is a major key for the audience? I did want to just talk about two Drea moments that kind of stick out in my mind, over time. Again, we grew up in the same area, so we've known each other in like passing. But I will say, I think maybe I was a sophomore, junior, and I think you were dating someone at my school, and I guess you had like wandered into the gym, or you were looking to get some shots, or whatever the case may be. We were in there playing pickup, and you joined us. And I knew who you were. I don't think we'd ever played against each other actually, but I just remember like going up for a rebound, there were several of us around you, and I'm just looking at you elevate and continuing to elevate and continue to elevate. Like, okay, she can have that. Like, so that's one of the memories that I have. And anytime I talk about you, I feel like I say that, I'm like, it was just absurd. And then my other moment is during Rising Media Stars. We were covering the Atlanta Dream, and I felt like I was going to have a meltdown. Like, of course, I'm paired with you because, and again, you're a rock star already at sideline. Sidelines, not exactly my, favorite thing.
Sideline is hard. Sideline is really hard.
Yeah. But yeah, I got paired with you on one of the nights and you would just like knock out a hit. And I was just like having a meltdown. But anyways, the point of the story is that you were so helpful after and like, keeping me kind of calm throughout the whole thing. Reached out and said, hey, do you want to have lunch? And we can talk about, what you can do better and get feedback. So that is my favorite Drea moment. And I think it just exemplifies who you are. You're a teammate. You're so helpful. And then again, you're just like a very kind spirit. So I appreciate that about you. And I'm so glad that you were able to come on today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I totally forgot that I played pickup at Georgia College, but now that you say that, I remember the exact gym. I remember literally everything about that. And then I thought that, working together with the Atlanta Dream and just watching you finally get it was so cool. And your perseverance and your ability to not have a meltdown and to get through that says a lot about you as well. So I appreciate you. This interview is fantastic. Your energy, your smile, it's always great. I'm going to throw compliments back at you because you've been giving me compliments all day.
Okay.
So I appreciate you. I've always had a lot of love for you. And yeah.
All right. So our last question, I've given you a little bit of time to think about it.
Yep.
What is one major key you would give to the audience?
I think one major key would be do the work. Do the work. Okay. You see Remy? I think Remy, there's two cats. There's one on the bed. Okay. And
you have a snake.
He's under there. He could have made a feature on the interview. I could have got him out.
Oh, wait, is that the name of the snake?
Nothing? Yeah. His name is
Got it. Okay, I thought you were pointing to another cat. I thought you said another cat.
Nope, that's Remy. That's Riley on the bed.
Oh, there is another cat. Okay, another cat, and then there's nothing. Okay.
And then there's nothing in the tank.
Yeah. I remember, I was following you on Twitter in college, and I was like, this is not okay. This snake, she's just walking around with, okay. But
next time I'll bring him. Next time he'll be out. I'll just have him on the thing. But no, I think do the work, because I think a lot of people, like, you just have to do the work. Like, a lot of people think that it comes easy, or they think that there's not prep that goes into you, and I know, but there are a lot of people that'll kind of reach out to me on Instagram or something, and they'll say, hey, I really want to get into TV. Can you help me, or what do I need to do? And I could talk forever about kind of the path that really led to being on TV, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of, and then doing well in a game or in a show, like, you just got to put the work in, because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to stumble over your words. You're going to pronounce a name wrong. You're going to stutter. You're going to, you know what I mean? Like, those things are going to happen, especially in live TV, right? If that's what you want to be in. But then you feel like honest mistakes are going to happen, but lack of preparation and lack of work, that's not an honest mistake, So I think do the work, put in the time, do the prep, so that those honest mistakes don't hold you back, because you know that you did everything you were supposed to do leading up to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally. And I know you're doing the work. And I'm going to let you go so you can go back to doing that work, because I know you have some broadcasts this coming week with the NCAA tournament. So
you got work to do too.
Yeah, I do. Let's not talk about it though. Let's not talk about it. I'm crying. No, but yeah, again, so glad to have you on. Again, I think you're such a light in our game. I'm looking forward to big things. Literally, I remember 2 years ago being like, oh yeah, she's the next big thing. Like, no questions asked. I know I'm like gassing you up, but I'm so serious. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been so fun.
Thanks, girl. Love you. I'm sure I'll text you soon.
Yeah. Okay. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and do all the things. And I'll see you here next time on Major Keys. I got the